88.9. It's late. That's what Trent sent to me when I came up the stairs. Oh, you're late. I didn't know you were going to come again, but it was circumstances beyond my control. It's life. Life is spontaneous. Things happen without you thinking about it or wanting it to happen. And sometimes you just run late. And today's one of those days that I don't know what it is, but everything was happening. We live in a world where everything is just happening. You know, my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones. It's heart aching. I mean, I had a sudden heartbreak when I heard of a young man that I knew very well, my son's friend, knew him from he was a child. And you look at these young man in the prime of his life, getting everything together, and all of a sudden, boop, you're gone. I send condolences to the family. Lovely parents he had, wonderful grandmother, people who loved him. He would have lived a good life, but that doesn't mean that you needed to end it so sharply. But that's how life is. And, you know, it's a message to us who are still around, recognizing that we are not told when, we don't know how, we don't know where it's going to happen. But it is sorry, I'm not thinking straight. It's inevitable that we are going to die. It's sad, but it's true. There's some people who are very much afraid of death. But let me tell you something. Death is going to come. We've seen it happen. It's not something that we don't know and we believe it's going to happen. But we've seen it happening. It's happening more frequent now than anything else. It is tiring. But a message to those of us who are still living. Life is to be enjoyed. People is to be loved. We have to make sure that our spirit and the energy that we walk around with is positive, and that we live the life that we love, and we love the life that we live. For those of you who wake up every morning and stress yourself and look at what's happening around us in the world, and it becomes part of your stress, let it go. It's not for us to carry. Those of us who gets up every morning and rush to make a lot of dollars and would do wrong things to get that done, let it go. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, you would have lived a miserable life, and when you're ready to dead, you would say, you know, it was not worth it. Those of you who are Bible scholars, Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, he said, it's vanity and a vexation to the spirit. It's not worth it. Life is to be loved. Your neighbors have conversation. You sit on your gallery and enjoy some of the beautiful sunshine. A lot of us don't even know what it feels like to sit out and enjoy the sunshine and observe and enjoy nature at its best here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is lush, green, beautiful wind coming through, sunshine in all its glory. It is beautiful. We have some of the Sahara dust coming in, I think. Oh my gosh. We're in a fog, and let me tell you what happens when the Sahara dust comes in. It comes in with lots of things, and we don't think we're just breathing in Sahara dust. There are lots of things that you can get from it, so that's one of the good things is that we have to constantly wear our masks. So when you're on the outside, if it's not just for COVID, it's for Sahara, wear your mask, because that again can protect you. I am yet to introduce myself. My name is Sandra Quilly-Atherton. We are on The Views. Your Views is a program that is aired on Win FM every Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. I can't believe again it's Friday. It's just as so we were here yesterday. And we have to be grateful, because we take it for granted. We say, oh, thank God it's Friday. But thank God I'm alive. Thank God I can be here again with you. Thank God we can have this conversation. And you know what? When you're listening to radio programs and you listen to talk show, it's not that you just want to come and talk. We want to make sure that we bring a message. And the message is not just something that you hear, but we hope that you apply it to your daily life. Because at the end of the day, sitting down and listening to gossip, because a lot of those juicy talk shows are happening now, and people tune in, get up early in the morning because they want to hear people rant and rave and gossip. And these are the things that we look forward to. But get up and listen to positive music. Make sure that you change your energy around you. Change the vibration that you're on. Change your vibes. Make sure it's positive throughout the day. It is crazy. We're going to need that. This world is not changing. It has changed. And we have to make sure that we keep up with the time, because let me tell you, we've lived in an era that we understood. We are now in an era that we don't understand at all. It's technology. And for people like like me, people in my age group, even those 20 and 30, the change is so drastic, you can't keep up. I always talk about Elon Musk. I listen to this guy and I want to know if him and I share the same world. It is crazy. The things that are going to happen, the things that are happening now that we are not aware of, it is really, really, really crazy. We have COVID out there. It is a virus that is changing, is becoming every 3 months, the different variant. We can't seem to keep up. We're now talking about boosters instead of vaccinations. Are not alone, they're not working. You have to start looking at booster shots because the virus is just changing, and we don't know what we can do. No, I shouldn't say that. I know what we can do. And that is one of the reasons, by popular demand, and people want him again, and they've asked me to have him come back and talk about some of the protocols. We have to open the lines because some people want to call in and ask questions. We have deprived you of that, deny you of that. So definitely I brought him back again this morning, Ajulan. And this morning we're going to open the line so people can call in and ask you a few questions because people are worried.
See, good morning, Sinkis and the whole diaspora. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
People are worried right now because they're looking at the fact that, and not having, there are a lot of people who don't have understanding of what viruses are. COVID is not just the only virus that we have. We have the flu, which is a virus that we face on a daily basis. Every time you have the sniffles, the cough, the sore throat, the fever sometimes. It depends on the strain of the virus. You have HIV, something that you have to live with. That again is another virus. We ourselves, humans, are virus. We're one of the biggest viruses that Earth has to deal with. But people don't have an understanding of what viruses are and what a virus is and how you can cope and what you can do, whether or not you can get rid of a virus, or is it just something used to control the virus. Let's talk herbs this time, really talk about herbs and some of the herbs that we can use basically to help in these times of troubles, because everybody looking at the pharmaceutical situation, but I said to you that they're now looking at the booster situation because the ordinary vaccination now is not working. So we have to realize now it comes right down to the same thing we've been saying all over again, boosting your new immune system. And there's some herbs that we can do, but before I start talking to you, let's give those people an idea of the numbers that they can call. It's 466-0989, 662 0989 and 762-0989. If you want to be a part of the program, if you have information that you've been trying to ask Ajulan, if you have an ailment, he's not a doctor. He understands herbs. He's been working with them for years. I can tell you, I'm not a testimony. I know definitely he knows exactly what he's doing, and I suppose because he's local, a lot of people don't trust our local people. But Ajulan has nothing to prove. He just do what he's supposed to do, and he has a very, very good success rate. And it's not something that is magical. It's something that you just have to do on a daily basis. That is cleanse your body and make sure that you maintain it. Ajulan, what can we do?
Yes, good morning, Sandra, again, Yeah, what can we do? Yeah, in this time, is this time to, as you say, boost our immune system, basically. As you know, we're in the rainy season, the flu season worldwide. We know about that due to COVID, you know. So, we have a lot of stuff around here. Because if you check outside right now, we got a lot of guavas. Guavas are very good, rich in vitamin C and everything. Full of antioxidants. Those are good to boost the immune system and everything. And we have jamun, the black plums, them.
That's the thing like what do you call it, ribena? That berry, the purple berry.
Yeah, the purple black plum. You know, we got some right in front of the courthouse, right in the square. So people who work in the city, they could always pick up a few there. Cause they grow thousands,
Yeah.
And the bypass road, we got a lot of them also. So they're all over. And as you can see, fruits in season for a reason.
Yeah.
And if you recognize, orange in right now, a lot of orange in. So these are stuff, if we consume them, these are stuff will help to prevent a lot of stuff that coming in, viral loads and them type of stuff, within our body and them type of stuff. We got a lot of herbs to help, we got herbs like some bitter herbs like seed on a leaf, you know, these are good herbs, you know what I mean, to cleanse the kidneys and them type of stuff. And it's very important to really get the kidney flush out, you know, because that is what really filter the blood and everything. You understand? So these are things we gotta look into basically, you know what I'm saying?
I remember when we were growing up, we used to have a thing called horse rub, donkey rub. In English, we call it donkey rub down. When I came to St. Kitts, I hear them call it horse rub down. Those are leaves that my mother used to give us when we have a cold.
Yeah.
On the onset of a cold, and when you start to sniffle, then she used to give us lemongrass, because lemongrass was very prevalent. And lime bush tea was another big thing that we used to have. And then we used to have this thing, we used to call it washerwoman. They call it maiden apple or cerasee. Those are the trees, those are the things that my mother used to do when we get in a cold. And I used to tell people, you know, the first time I've been to a doctor when I was 16 years old had nothing to do with sickness. It was a hormonal issue, and you know, but we never got sick. The cold we wouldn't get because, of course, again, we used to walk to school in the sun. We used to walk back from school at 12 o'clock and walk to school again. So we were getting our exercise and the necessary sunlight that we were getting. I mean, that again helped to boost our immune system. But then we never knew anything about immune system. We know we were just drinking it because we were poor and the lime bush was there, so you could just pick it. And people think poverty was a crime, but poverty was life.
True.
Because we were forced to eat the natural stuff, and that is one of the reasons why we are so strong.
Well, I mean, we look at it as poverty, you know, but it's not poverty, you know, because it's in abundance.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. It's the choice that we make.
Right. So
Yeah.
if we think that it is poverty, then we're going to be in poverty. You understand?
Yeah.
Because we could take them and, you know, capitalize on top of them.
I remember you talk about black cherry, and you know, it's the strangest thing when you look at how nature works and how much we are, how natural we are, and how in tune we are to nature. Or nature is in tune with us because a lot of us are not in tune. It's the type of fruits that is produced during the seasons. Like you said, it's winter season. You have all the vitamin C because, you know, around that time you have the change in temperature, your body's susceptible because in America you don't have the sun that is out. So, you know, you don't have that vitamin D. So you have the fruits that will provide the vitamin C, the vitamin D. Now you have, doctors are touting that vitamin C, zinc, selenium, those are things that are absolutely necessary now to help with COVID. And then, you know, of course, the herbs that you are very much familiar with. You talk about the bitter lemon.
Yeah, bitter lemon, very, very good for cleansing, you know what I mean? And also good for high blood pressure, you know, diabetes, you know. The herbs, them have multiple use. So one herb, if you might be using it for treat one condition, you're going to be helping your body in other ways that you might not know, you know what I mean? Because they have many mineral content that assist the body in different ways that the body needs it, you know.
We're going to talk about 3 herbs this morning. We're going to talk about China stemmer. People don't know about them. We're going to talk about Spanish needle. People don't know about Spanish needle.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about dog blood because we have a lot of, and I only choose 3 specific herbs because I know very well that these are some that you introduced me to, and these are some that I have an understanding of that, you know, work. And we can talk, other herbs you could talk about for times like now, like cat's claw. But saying all these things to people, they don't have an understanding of it. And that is one of the reasons why I say, you know, we people who need information can call and get it because sometimes it's not just, some people are taking herbs. For example, I see everybody taking turmeric and they're just making it into a tea, not understanding that turmeric needs something that is going to carry it. It's an oil base,
you know what I mean?
or it needs black pepper to use. So
to activate.
To activate. So you the curcumin in the
inside. Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of times we're taking herbs and we're not taking herbs. The weight should be taken. And so we think that, it's not working. But like everything else, I mean, you have to use it at a certain time. You always say that to me because I'm an abuser. I would take a cup instead of a shot glass. And people don't know how to do it, and they're trying to do it.
Sure, yeah. Well, with the herbs, you know, is overstanding and those type of stuff, you know, because it's always best to start out with a small dosage. It's just to see how the person respond.
Yeah.
And by doing that now, you could make an adjustment, you know, and body winning into those type of situations, basically, you know. And then you could also increase the dosage accordingly. But generally, understanding the herb, knowing when to use the herbs is very important because sometimes we pick the herb out of the season when most of the energy is in the plant itself, you know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes you having the overstanding, that's when you get best your mineral content harvest in the plant. by harvesting it in the right time. And also you have to know the part of the plant that is you want to use. You know, sometimes it might just be the root, depends on the condition. Sometimes it might just be the leaves, it might just be the flower, you know. So these are stuff that we need to know, you know, because sometimes you might hear, yo, take, let me see. Okay, like seed on a leaf, you know what I mean? So seed on a leaf, and you say utilize that for condition. But if you don't know what part to use, because the root is very important also.
But they have different medicinal purposes.
Right. So if you don't know which part to use at that time, you might not be getting what your body really required. You know, so it's very important to have an understanding in the way to utilize the herb, you know.
Yeah, my nights are spent. Every night I do research. I mean, it's not all information over there that you take. And that is one of the good reasons why you have somebody who have a good understanding of, you say overstanding, but old school, a good understanding of what the herbs do. You talk about the leaf have its own medicinal purposes. The flowers have its medicinal purposes. It's surprising that it's coming from one tree, but yet still they have all different medicinal purposes.
Yeah.
Again, the time in which, I remember when we were growing up, we were told not to pick the leaf after 6 when the sun goes down. And you never understood why. Why can't you pick the leaf off the tree after 6 or when the sun is going down?
Well, some plants,
Yeah.
you know, because some plants you need to use them in the night. So you have to pick them in the night too, just because you want to maintain, you know, 'cause if you pick them too early, you're not going to get the value that you need.
Okay.
You know, plant like cassia lata, you know, that's safe to pick in the night. You know, when you leave them falls and everything comes in, that's when you really pick it, you know. In the day, the leaves them open up and everything, you know. And like in the day, you know, when the sun is out, that's when the plant absorbing a lot of the energy. So it is important to know the time of which to really harvest and also the season in terms of the moon, you know, before the moon, the rising of the moon, and the going down of the moon, you know. When the moon is going down, and like after full moon, those are time to really gather roots and barks and them type of stuff, you know. And to gather the leaves them is when the moon coming up, you know, like after new moon, these times, very good to collect your leaves them and put them to dry and those type of stuff, you know.
You see, and people don't understand the science. There's a science behind the whole thing. People think you just get up and you just pick and you go. They don't understand contents and what are the nutrients that are
the mineral contents and
inside,
that type of stuff,
the mineral contents in the plant, because you don't know it. And when you buy ibuprofen, they tell you it has X amount of this in there, X amount, or even vitamin, they tell you the percentage of the nutrients in there. They tell you how much magnesium in there, how much potassium in there, how much calcium, vitamin A. It tells you their contents. But we who don't have an understanding of the plants, we pick the plants. People tout moringa. Because moringa, they claim to say, the claims out there, it has more vitamin C than carrots. It has more calcium.
It's more mineral dense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
much more mineral
much
dense.
More mineral dense than a lot of the other plants. Them.
Yeah, because they were taught, if they said moringa they call it tree of life because in Africa they would eat it. The children who are not properly, you don't have the luxury to buy the foods, then you use that moringa as for the nutritional values that it has.
Yeah. It's a very powerful plant, you know, basically, you know. I mean, the leaves, the pods, the bark, the roots, you know, all over have a lot of uses. And by powdering the leaves, it's very good because you could use it by teaspoonful, so you get a better measurement in terms of knowing, because a lot of the nutrients them are really based on 100 grams. You know, per the herb, and they got a recommended doses what is there. You know? So by using 100 grams, you know, this is like, you know, some tablets would be like 500 mg. Then they got a standard for the dosage in those type in weights. You know, so by going by teaspoonful, you get a better
idea of what you're consuming,
of the measurement in terms of the herbs. You know, and just like somebody will buy vitamin C tablets and them type of stuff to boost the immune system. That might come from a plant base, you know what I mean? And they add the compounds and they make it 500 mg, just to join an example. You know, they can do that because they're processing it. So, you understand? But you know, picking a plant in its natural form, I say squeezing some orange, you're getting vitamin C, plus you're getting potassium, you're getting magnesium, you're getting calcium, you know, and you're getting a lot of trace minerals that really complement the absorption of the nutrients what your body really need. You know, so it's better to take these type of herbs in the natural form.
Because absorbic acid is not a natural form of vitamin C, and most vitamin C that you buy in the drugstore is absorbic acid. It's not natural vitamin C. And rosehip is natural and it's very good, but you know you can't seem to. They always mix it with something.
Yeah, they have to, you know.
Yeah, because as far as they're concerned, it's expensive to process. Some people don't understand when you go into you buy these drugs, it's only a small percentage of the nutrients that you're going to get, because they're going to mix it with fillers, they're going to mix it with preservatives, they're going to mix it with all kind of different things, and it pose some serious problem. And we have it here.
And a lot of side effects come with all those type of stuff. You know, a lot of people looking for like a one-time fix. I mean, it's healing. Healing is a process, you know. After you've been healed, that's when it's complete.
Yeah.
You understand? And you know, in our body, we got a lot of toxins that builds up, you know, a lot of plaques and everything, you know, from the food that we eat, you know. I mean, when we eat a lot of starchy food and everything, it put a lot of stress on the pancreas, you know, and the pancreas create insulin and, you know what I mean, pancreatic juices, hormones and those type of stuff, and digestive juices. So, and it's also, the work of the pancreas is to send sugar into the cell.
For energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that becomes too much,
Overloaded,
you're going to be overloaded, you're going to send it to the liver,
and the blood.
And then it's going to be in the bloodstream, the liver going to have to filter it. And when that become a problem, you know what I mean, then all the organisms start to go bad. You know
and that's where you get diabetes, those chronic diseases, hypertension.
Attack, all those type of stuff, you understand? So in utilizing the herbs, you see that the herbs, I mean, they don't work in one area. As I told you before, they work in many areas. They might be taking it for diabetes, but it still be doing things for hypertension, because thinning the blood, you're going to be removing plaque, you're going to be helping the arteries them also.
It's how smart these herbs are. It's how, and you know, it couldn't have been, it must have come from the designer, the creator of these, who understood that when you have a problem with diabetes, you have a problem with hypertension, and this comes because the kidney is not working as it should, or the pancreas is not working as it should. So when the pancreas is affected, he knows that the kidney is going to take on the strain. So while you're taking this herb, it's not just addressing the diabetes, but it's cleansing all the other organs that are involved. And it's amazing. It is amazing.
It's very important.
Yeah. When you take the pharmaceutical drugs, it is for one thing, for hypertension or for diabetes, and it destroys something else.
Definitely.
Because you take the metformin and then it has problem with your kidneys. Later on, you end up on dialysis. And then
because
the doctors are going to say...
they ain't giving you the medication to complement the other organs.
Yeah, because they're not going to the source of the problem. What they're doing is treating the situation that they have.
Trying to treat
the situation, making you comfortable. But what they're not doing is treating the root cause of the problem. True. And that is one of the issues. You have some problems that are secondary. For example, thyroid issues. I always go back to thyroid issues because I do have that issue. But it's you don't know, sometimes the secondary problem is because something else is happening, why it start affecting your thyroid. And just like hypertension, nobody knows. And doctors will say, we don't know where it comes from.
That's why I told you thyroid is a tricky thing, because it's all about the hormones. And as I told you, the pancreas also secrete hormones, you know, digestive juices. You know, digestive juices go with the metabolism, how we metabolize food. You know, so it's a lot of things that is not just running to the thyroid, but you have to deal with other issues, complement other issues in order for the thyroid to go get better.
Because you see that you have hypothyroidism, you have
Yeah.
an uncontrollable weight gain, you can't control that. So then you know that there's an issue that has a problem with digestion. So it's obvious that your thyroid affect the way you digest stuff.
How
It has
food
problems
is-
with your hormones
Yep.
because then you have issues with your periods are not coming. You have polycystic ovary syndrome. Symptoms. You have a range of things that poses problem. You get very, very tired. You know, and so your temperature is off. Sometimes you feel hot. You have cold, hot flashes. Sometimes you're cold. It's a lot of things that happen. So you see, it's a lot of areas that are affected. And when you're trying to treat one problem, then you're going to offset. You're going to have problems with other things because you're not treating the source of the problem. You're just trying to find comfort for the person who has those issues. And those are some of the big problems that we're facing today.
True, you know what I mean? And that is how we approach it, is from a holistic point of view, you understand? Dealing with the whole, you know what I mean? So, and, you know, that's the best way to go about with body. I mean, when I deal with people and they tell me they have one issue, I look at everything as a whole and try to strengthen everything, you know? Because, for example, if the pancreas gone bad and it's not rushing to the pancreas, you got to deal with the
Gallbladder,
the gallbladder, but the kidneys,
kidneys. Make sure you protect
you know what I mean?
them
Because when the kidneys start to function good, it make it easier now for the liver to function, and then the liver now, because like reverse engineering, like it's in a type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause if this gone bad, the other part gonna be stressed out. So you still gotta straighten up all those.
Yeah, protect them first so that
Right.
it doesn't.
In order for that host to get back to the full potential.
That's we call it teamwork, and that is how our bodies were designed, where we understand that teamwork is essential. Let's talk about the 3 plants that we talk about,
Yeah.
and people are not aware of it. Spanish needle.
Yeah, Spanish needle, you know, Spanish needle is a herb that grow around
Wild.
here, you know. It's plentiful, and it's antimicrobial, antiviral, have a lot of antiviral properties.
So it's
within
good for
you know.
COVID.
COVID,
Come
respiratory
on,
system.
very yourself.
You know, it's a very, very powerful herb. Good for a lot of ailments. And this herb, you know, if you get a cut, you could crush the leaves and use it to stop bleeding and those type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's the thing about the Spanish needle, and that's one of the reasons why I brought up that herb in particular, because we are faced with the situation of COVID, and we are everybody's looking for that solution of pharmaceutical drugs, but at the end of the day, we have to boost our immune system.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it earlier. It is not a quick fix. Healing is a process. It takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's just like it was broken down. It took a long time for you to reach the stage that you were in. That's what they call them, like hypertension and diabetes, chronic diseases, because they were over a period of time. It took to break
Lifestyle
them.
diseases.
Lifestyle
you know what I mean?
diseases, they are.
You know what I mean?
And
Because there's we can't spread it to each other.
Yeah.
Like that, you know? Like the flu and them type of stuff.
Yeah.
Non-communicable diseases.
Yes,
you
very
know what I
good.
mean? Yeah. You know, as we're speaking about Spanish needle and them type of stuff now, the leaves are very, very good. You could juice the leaves, you know, good to do a green juice from it, chlorophyll, you know, to really alkalize the body and everything. You know what I mean? And good for wounds, you know, sores, fresh cuts and them type of stuff. You know what I mean? Skin diseases also. You know, respiratory.
let's look at the respiratory. That's the one.
Respiratory issues.
Yeah, because we know now that's one of the issues that we have with COVID.
Yeah.
Not just the respiratory problems, but it also helps with lowering your blood pressure.
Yeah.
Those are some of the side effects you find in COVID. It tend to spike your blood pressure. It also helps with getting rid of blood clots. That's another area you
Yeah,
see.
it thins the blood
It thins the blood, exactly.
and cleanse it out, you know.
Good. And so that is one of the reasons why I chose Spanish needle, because it helps to not just boost your immune system, but when you see what the virus is doing, we know that we have herbs out there that can counteract all the problems that the virus produces.
Yeah.
So Spanish needle is one of those that I chose because of the fact I know those are the benefits that it has.
Yeah. It's a very, 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 very powerful plant. The roots, the leaves, everything can be used in the treatment, the whole plant.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
looks, people who suffer from, we always talk about hypertension and diabetes always walking hand in hand.
Yeah.
It helps with that too. It helps
Yeah.
with people who has diabetes. But like I said, it's not something you're going to take today and wake up tomorrow and say, I'm healed. It is something you talk about lifestyle changes that gives all of these non-communicable diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes. Those are the problems because of the way we live, the foods that we eat, the fact that we don't exercise, we don't sleep enough, the stress related. These are the problems that we have, and these are the diseases that come from that. And so we have plans that would help you to do that. But just like you've been doing this for 15, 20 years,
You have to help yourself also in doing the right thing. You know, I mean, reframing, because if you're going to be taking the herbs them and still going back to the bad habits them and them type of stuff, it's like putting one foot forward and taking a step backward. You know, so you have to decide to make changes within yourself, within your life, to really see the benefits of what you would be receiving. You know what I mean?
yeah, and exactly. But I was talking to this woman the other day, and she said, you know why I like ibuprofen? Because it goes, after 5 minutes, the pain is gone. The pain is not, it numbs the side of your brain that would recognize pain. But the pain is just, the problem is still there, because after it wears off, then the pain comes back. But if you go and you rest, because most of the time headaches come because you're dehydrated, you don't have enough water in your system, or you're not resting enough, and you're stressing. So you have to basically eliminate those problems, the contributory factors, in order for you to start feeling better. But if you're going to numb it down with ibuprofen, or you have a knee pain and you're going to use ibuprofen and you're going to numb down the pain, at the end of the day, you're going to start walking more. You're going to walk now because you're not feeling pain. Later on, when it wears off, you realize you would have caused more damage than anything else.
True.
So we have to start moving away from just getting that comfortable feeling to...
Try to get in a quick fix, you know?
Yeah,
and not getting a solution, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this is one of the things that we have to look at. So we talk about Spanish needle. We're not going to go into details. We just give you an idea of basically what it is. So you talk about Spanish needle being able to cleanse and get rid of. Let's look at gynostema that tonifies the body.
Yeah, it's an adaptogen, you know, and it's a plant where you could use over for a period of time, basically, and it's for vitality.
Yeah.
Boost your immune system, keep you strong, you know, understand? Tonify the whole body. So in saying that, it work with all the organs within the body to help regulate the functions. You know what I mean? So it's a very powerful herb, basically.
Yeah, I remember the first time I started to, because when you start thinking about herbs, you think about herbs that is going to cleanse your system. Because if you want to do healing, you have to first start cleansing the
and
feeling
detoxifying.
Right, and then you have to start to tonify
back up.
the system. After you don't break, you have to do all the cleansing. You got to get a herb or something that's going to make you feel stronger. Because when you're detoxifying, you start to get weak. You're more dry. You have all of the system of, all the symptoms of that clearing process. When people start to get that, they say, oh, it's not working, not realizing that it's working. Because you're going to feel lethargic. Your body's going to feel down because it's getting rid of all of the toxin.
Your body making changes. So you're going to be getting some type of uncomfortable feeling at times because, things changing now.
Yeah, your breath starting to smell, your body, your mouth become dry, your perspiration smell putrid because of the fact that your body is getting rid of all of that stuff that was in there.
Toxin
could you imagine?
Your body,
could you imagine what the inside smell like if you're smelling it while it's going through that process?
Well, that is why they give us the deodorants them and those type of high scented perfume, because if people really go natural for 2 days continue to eating the food, what they eat and check themselves, they would recognize, well, there's poison they're working with.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand?
Definitely.
And we don't know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, we know COVID, people have been paying a lot of attention to COVID because COVID is a new kid on the block. So everybody's basically looking at COVID. But there's some long, I'm not going to call them diseases because diseases.
Disease.
Yeah, the body, a long time your body is not at ease. You have had all these feelings, and there are young people who experience them, and they're not even aware of it. There are a lot of people, and you see a lot of women walking around with facial hair. They perspire profusely. They're gaining weight, and they don't know why they're gaining weight. You have this black spot on your neck, and you think people tend to believe that it's diabetes. But a lot of time, polycystic ovary syndrome is it's a big problem that we women face. Our statistics shows that 1 in every 7 women have polycystic ovary syndrome, and they don't even know that they have the problem. Problems of getting pregnant, irregular periods, dysmenorrhea, when you have a lot of period pains. You have cysts forming on your ovaries, and they're not bursting when they're supposed to burst. It's a lot because we don't have an understanding of what our bodies do. You know, we are not even aware that we are having a problem. Later on, you see that why is this happening? Why is that? But you don't know. Dog blood is the herb I want to talk about, and the miracles of dog blood, what it can do. I've read. I look at a testimonial where this woman said she had to go and she was going to do a hysterectomy because she was having all of these issues until she was introduced to dog blood. But it didn't happen after one day. She had to take it over a period of time, consult with a doctor, of course, and see what it was doing. And after 6 months, when she went back to the doctor said, let's give it some more time because they have seen a lot of improvement and they don't think it's time to do that the operation again. So they had to take time out and watch it go. After a year, she didn't have to do the operation again. After a year, so I want people to know it's a process, a lengthy process, but you can't do it on your own. You have to do it under doctor's supervision or the supervision of a naturopath, somebody who understands the herbs and when to use them and when not to use them. And we see that these herbs create healing. Because you see what the difference was? It was surgery in opposed to your body's going to heal itself. You know? And what we have gone away from is we look away from the fact that our bodies were designed to heal itself.
You know, a lot of people don't give their body a chance to, you know, because we tend to get scared and run to the pharmaceuticals and for the quick fixes, you know what I mean, at times, but not really getting the results, you know, and nature provides everything that we need. You know, everything that we need, the earth bring forth for us, you know, right in front of our doorstep at times. The very most important thing that you need is right there for you. You understand? But we don't analyze these things. You know what I mean? You know. And speaking about dark blood, you know, dark blood is a very, very powerful herb when it comes to female issues, female reproductive system, and female complaints, you know. Complement with other herbs also, like, you know.
Valerian,
valerian, I don't know valerian, you know. Herb that you see in St. Kitts, you know, something like raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry.
You know, motherwort, we got motherwort here. These are herbs which is very, very good for the female reproductive system and to cleanse the wound and everything. You know, and in those situations there, you know, it's the castor oil and the castor plant is a very, very powerful plant for dealing with the wound also. You know what I mean? And by utilizing oils, especially with cannabis oil in that type of treatment there, and herbs also, making like a nice poultice, you could get great results, you know what I mean, from that, and other stuff too.
You see, I like the fact you talk about poultice because people think that you always have to drink the herbs, but you see a lot of movement done when you just put a poultice on top. A poultice is a mixture like in a paste, or you can put it, some people tend to put it in a cloth or put a cloth over.
Cloth,
Yeah.
plastic,
Yeah.
depends on
So
how
that your
you.
body can absorb it topically. These are topical things that you put on top of your body, and your body would absorb it
Yeah.
and creates work magic.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta-
magical.
It's a very, 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 very powerful way in dealing, because in you doing herbs and everything, you don't believe in cutting. You know what I mean? We don't cut nobody and those type of stuff. You know what I mean? We deal from the internal and the internal and external treatment, external application. You know what I mean? In helping dealing with other situations. So, in situations like those type of things, female complaints, female issues, and so, I give them herbs for the internal and still do external applications because it is very, very important you do that to really get to the wound and everything,
You see, and it's listening to you is always it's so much information that you can get, and you always want to go. It's so easy to go the natural way. It's much cheaper to go the natural way, and like I said, it is not just temporary fixes. We're talking about total healing. Because when something goes bad, it's a deficiency in something.
Yeah.
So most of the time your body is sick is because you're deficient in something. You tend to get cold because your body's fighting ability has been basically marginalized because your immune system is compromised, and it doesn't have the nutrients that it needs to work the way it's supposed to work. There's some people would get a hit. You feel like snuffy in the morning, you get up, you feel like, I feel like I'm coming down with something. But later on in the day, as you get up and you go out and you move around, it's gone because your immune system is working at its peak. You're giving it the things that it needs, the selenium, the zinc, the herbs. And the herbs, selenium and zinc, you find them in the plants.
Yeah.
And so you take the necessary plants that would give you the ammunition so that your body can fight when have all of these viruses. They talk about the same thing with COVID. There are people who are succumbing to the virus because their immune system is basically, they have underlying conditions. And that is when they always use the word underlying conditions, mean that there are situations that your body is already fighting.
Yeah.
And so your immune system is compromised, it's weakened. So anything that comes in, like COVID, that comes with all these other things, respiratory issues, you can't eat, so therefore you don't have any taste, you don't have any smell, your appetite is gone. So it means that your system, you can't give your body the foods and nutrients that it needs, so your immune system is compromised. And so that's one of the reasons why, the herbs come, because it can restore your appetite. You have herbs that would work that way.
Yeah, we have herbs who open your appetite. We have herbs who, make you don't want to eat too, what I mean? You have herbs for all type of different conditions, basically. You have herbs for many type of conditions, but it's just to pick the right one, knowing what you're doing and using it in the right way.
Yeah, John, and that's why the reason I'm gonna I'm not gonna appeal because people have to know what they want to do. We have it here, we have it locally here, and the information that you give, sometimes it's more. I listen to I'm not going to call his name, this guy from Grenada. I listen to him. But when you look at the stuff that he gives you have some of the pharmaceutical things there that he will say, take these tablets along with this. In these tablets, they have a thing called magnesium stearate. It's a filler. It is known to be very carcinogenic. We're taking all of these vitamins thinking that we're doing the right thing. It's like MSG in food, that the food enhancers, that it's very carcinogenic. So we're taking these vitamins and we're taking the synthetic form of these vitamins. They're not real.
Yeah.
And they're posing more problems than anything else. But we run to the supermarket to buy vitamin C. When you have guavas in abundance, you have lemons and lime in abundance here. And think we have sour orange that is basically knocking dog. These are things that we can use. These are the vitamin C that we need.
Yep.
You don't need to go to the pharmacy to buy these things. You talk about Spanish needle. It's antimicrobial, antiviral. You have a cold. Don't go sniffing on anything. Get some Spanish needle, boil it.
And it's antibacterial also.
Antibacterial too.
You understand?
You see, and it's good for people who you're taking all this warfarin and Coumadin, these blood thinners. You can use these herbs that would help to thin your blood.
Yeah, and and I do recommend if you feel scared, you don't have to be. I'm saying, just give the herb a chance. See how your body will respond, and if you're not getting no negative side effects, basically like headaches, skin eruptions, diarrhea, then you're good to go. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and those of you who wants to start trying herbs, I advise you to have a discussion. They always say, talk to a naturopath. You can talk to Agilon. His number is 664-6634. So if by chance you want to find out more about the herbs and how you can get these herbs together soon, I'm trying to encourage him to start having classes where he can teach people, have seminars, not just how about the herbs, but how to pack the herbs instead of buying those tea bags that you buy from the store. He's getting ready to get his own stuff where he's going to have all the different herbs, the natural herbs, where you can use them and you can drink them as teas. And he got to get that prepared. Again, like I said, you can have seminars where he can teach you how to prepare your own teas
Yeah.
so that you can drink them. And he will have the information of when to drink these things. Because you don't just get up and start drinking herbs all the time. There's some herbs
No.
you can't sleep. You can't drink at nights because then it will keep you up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
yeah.
there's some herbs you can't drink in the day because they make you want to sleep.
Yeah. So that's why it's good to know what you're doing and the action of the herb, you know what I mean? Because just picking the herb and drinking it and thinking, you know, it's good. But it's very good to know the action that the herb perform and knowing that is very important, you know what I mean, in healing, you know?
Yeah, and we're not going to make recommendations of what herb to use for this purpose because, again, people always ask. It's the craziest thing when you're telling somebody, I mean, they're going to ask you, well, how do you know about these things? But if it was somebody else come, I remember I had this guy from St. Croix on a program here. We were talking about herbs and everything else. And when the program was finished, we got downstairs. He had brought some stuff, and before we left the Sands Complex yard, all of his stuff sold off. People met him here because they heard the program and they wanted to meet him, and they came and they bought the stuff. They don't know what is in we don't know what he's saying is actually there. But because he was not from here, he had a foreign accent. He said he's been doing these things for a very long time. I was shocked when we got downstairs and we saw people coming and they're asking, is this such and so? I heard you talk about this situation. I have this problem. You have anything there? And he almost sold off everything before he left the yard. So we're saying that, and this is not a promotion, because I'm not promoting Agilon. Agilon has a passion for healing. He wants to make sure that our nation is healthy, because a healthy nation is the wealth of the nation. And so he wants to make sure that people are not being fooled by these pharmaceutical drugs, and letting you know that they're the natural alternatives out. That's an alternative, the natural approach.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of stuff here, you know. I mean, enough people want Brodak and dandelion and, you know, those stuff are European herbs and everything. But the same action that they perform, we have herbs here that perform the same type of actions because, you know, Cascara Sagara, laxative, you know, we got aloe here, it's also a laxative. I mean, we got elder, these are laxative herbs that make your bowel move, you know what I mean? So we have a lot of herbs here, but we just not aware of what we have around you know, so that's why many of us choose different pathways in dealing with our situations.
Nettle.
You know?
Nettle is one of the most
nutritious plants out there too.
nutritious plants.
You know?
We have it here in abundance. Who takes nettle?
It's good for the urinary tract, good for
Everything.
cancer.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
But who takes nettle? We have it here in abundance. And then we run to I'm not going to say that because I might get myself in trouble. But we run from the herbs and we start to take the synthetic forms of healing. So we have to be very careful. And when I have you on my program, it's not because I want to talk. I'm very passionate about it because you see the direction in which people are going.
Yeah.
And you know that we can do better. We grew up as young people when we were children. We grew up on bush tea, lime bush tea, because we couldn't afford anything else. The lemongrass, it was really, really tasting good. The soursop bush tea was another big thing.
Lime is very, very good.
We used to eat it like orange, peel it and eat lime.
The flower is very good too for people who suffer from insomnia also too, you know.
Serious?
Yeah, the lime flower and passion fruit.
Yeah?
These are some very, very powerful herbs. Yeah, passion fruit, good for insomnia and those type of conditions and those type of stuff, you know. But we, you know, and it's to know the part of the plant that you want to use, you know. So we have enough things around here that we're taking for granted, you know what I mean, basically, you know.
664-6634, actually, that's your number. We are out of time. And those of you are ready. And those of you, you're going to come back. It's a program that I want to have. We're going to talk natural stuff that we can use naturally. And I know he's going to come back. I'm going to bring back every time we need to. Because we need this. We need this information. We need people to start to do the things because we are in a situation right now. The world is in crisis. Food I don't know if it's a shortage of food, but we can't have the people in the labs making that poison that they were sending us because people are not vaccinated and so therefore they can't drive the buses. And so those are problems that are posed in the outer world. I don't know if that is true, but we know when we look at the shelves here, we have issues. Bringing in stuff is expensive because freight has gone up by $1,000 and so the supermarkets are going to feel it. Cost of living is going to climb more sooner than later. The food stuff that you have to buy in those supermarkets, they're off the charts. We have to start to eat local, the bread food, the dasheen, the sweet potato, the carrots that hurts my heart when I see the vendors having to throw them out or carry them back home. The pumpkins that sit there and people are not buying them, and people are filling up the supermarkets and buying this imported stuff. We have to start eating local because the pesticides.
By eating local, I mean your food fresh. When they're coming from Europe and North America and those places, even in these places, to get to the city, it take you about 6-7 hours coming from way out in the country with the farmlands and really is, you understand? So those time your food leaving and then the time to ship here again, by the time you get it, it's probably gone a month.
Yeah, and then they're overripe and they're sprayed and they use things to preserve them.
But if you use what we have here,
they're waxed.
Right in front of your face, and we have a lot of fruits. Every month we have a fruit in
season.
Right here in St. Kitts, you know what I'm saying?
Well, when I leave here, I'm going to go up to Mr. Clark and I'm going to have me some of his guavas that he have there. I just love those guavas. Sugar apple is out of season. I can't seem to get any right now.
Well, the sugar apple is when some coming in, but I mean the sweet fruits mostly coming in the summer.
So that you need that energy too.
Because when you use up all the energy in the sun, you get back all the sugar within to boost your system, you know what I mean? And you're going to get some there to sweet sour the tongue to complement what's going on even now here too, within the winter season, as we call it, this rainy season. So nature know what you're doing, nature know what she's doing and everything.
Definitely. We are out of time. I'm infringing as usual. I'm not seeing Devon yet, but I think I'm still infringing. So let's try to wrap up here. Ajudan, we would have you back maybe next week. This is what we have to do to get people to start to do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes you have to tell them what they're supposed to do because people are ignorant. Ignorant doesn't mean, people used to use the word you're ignorant, mean that you're stupid. No, you don't have the information that you need. And so we are going to provide that information so that you would be able to do, you're equipped to make the right decision.
Make your own assessment to your life, because it is your life.
Definitely. And we're living in a world right now where life matters.
Yeah.
And to some, it doesn't matter because people are doing things to get rid of life. And we have to make sure that we preserve our own life. And in order to do so, we have to eat the foods that are necessary for longevity.
Wholesome foods.
Wholesome foods. That's why I like having Ajudan around me because he encourages me. It's Friday. COVID, the cases are rising. People are falling down and they're dying. Something is seriously wrong here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This is not infamy or news or gossip because people are using that now as gossip. Oh, you ain't know who fall down. Oh, you ain't know who people thought was dead. Oh, you don't. This is not news. This is not gossip. This is a reality. We have to be more aware that something is happening. We don't know what it is, so we have to exercise caution. We have to start loving, live a life where we can love. Love is positive energy. It changes vibration. It changes your whole mindset. It heals. Love heals. Sometimes we just have to cleanse our spirit and healing takes place immediately without using anything else. Those are energies that we can use. Let us use it for the right purpose. The world needs love. We are bombarded with fear. And so we need love. So let's start to change the way we look at life. Let us start to do things differently. Reach out to your neighbors. Reach out to your children. Wives start loving your husband. Husbands start loving wives. We have to start looking at life differently and start doing things differently. It's Friday. I am not a preacher, and I'm not going to get into that form of preaching. But I just want to make sure that people are listening and doing the right things. It's Friday. Be careful. It's not just the ordinary Friday you can let your hair down and go out and party. It's a day where you have to be cautious. The cases are rising and people are now dying. My name is Sandra Queely Atherton, and that is my final message.
When them say think it's mad, when everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man, from you love think it's bad. Me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad, when everywhere